Leaders think about the future and what they want to accomplish and where they want to arrive sometime down the road. Leaders think about what they want and what can be done to achieve it. The good news is that when you begin to think about your future as well, you begin to think like a leader, and you will soon get the same results that leaders get. Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard concluded after more than 50 years of research that long-time perspective was the most important determinant of financial and personal success in life. Banfield defined long-time perspective as the ability to think several years into the future while making decisions in the present. This is one of the most important discoveries ever made. Just think, the further you think into the future, the better decisions you will make in the present to assure that that future becomes a reality. For example, if you save $100 per month from the age of 20 to the age of 65, and you invested that money in a mutual fund earning an average of 10% per annum over time, you would be worth more than $1,118,000 when you retire. Anyone who really wanted to could save $100 per month if he or she had a long enough time perspective. What this means is that every single person starting work today can become a millionaire over time if they begin early enough, save consistently enough, and hold to their long-term vision of financial independence. In personal strategic planning, you should begin with a long-term view of your life as well. You should begin by practicing idealization in everything you do. In the process of idealization, you create a 5-year fantasy for yourself and begin thinking about what your life would look like in 5 years if it were perfect in every respect. The biggest single obstacle to setting goals is self-limiting beliefs. These are areas where you believe yourself to be limited in some way. You may believe yourself to be inadequate or inferior in areas such as intelligence, ability, talent, creativity, personality, or something else. As a result, you sell yourself short by underestimating yourself. You set either no goals or low goals that are far below what you are truly capable of accomplishing. By combining idealization and future orientation, you cancel or neutralize this process of self-limitation. You imagine for the moment that you have no limitations at all. You imagine that you have all the time, talents, and abilities you could ever require to achieve any goal you could set for yourself, no matter where you are in life. You imagine that you have all the friends, contacts, and relationships you need to open every door and achieve anything you could really want. You imagine that you have no limitations whatsoever on what you could be, have, or do in the pursuit of the goals that are really important to you. In Charles Garfield's studies of peak performers, he made an interesting discovery. He analyzed men and women who had achieved only average results at work for many years, but who suddenly exploded into great success and accomplishment. He found that at the takeoff point, every one of them began engaging in what he called blue sky thinking. In blue sky thinking, you imagine that all things are possible for you, just like looking up into a clear blue sky with no limits. You project forward several years and imagine that your life is perfect in every respect sometime in the future. You then look back to where you are today and ask yourself this question: what would have to have happened for me to have created my perfect future? You then come back to where you are in the present in your own mind and you ask, what would have to happen from this point forward for me to achieve all my goals sometime in the future? When you practice idealization and future orientation, you make no compromises with your dreams and visions for yourself and your future. You don't settle for smaller goals or have successes. Instead, you dream big dreams and project forward mentally as though you are one of the most powerful people in the universe. You create your perfect future. You decide what you really want before you come back to the present moment and deal with what is possible for you within your current situation. Start with your business and career. Imagine that your work life was perfect 5 years from now. Answer these questions. 1. What would it look like? 2. What would you be doing? 3. Where would you be doing it? 4. Who would you be working with? 5. What level of responsibility would you have? 6. What kind of skills and abilities would you have? 7. What kind of goals would you be accomplishing? 8. What level of status would you have in your field? When you answer these questions, imagine that you have no limits. Imagine that everything is possible for you. Peter Drucker once said, "We greatly overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, but we greatly underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years." Don't let this happen to you. Now, idealize your perfect financial life sometime in the future. 1, how much do you want to be earning 5 years from today? 2, what sort of lifestyle do you want to have? What kind of home do you want to live in? 3, what kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of material luxuries do you want to provide for yourself and your family? 4, how much do you want to have in the bank? 5, how much do you want to be saving and investing each month and each year? Six, how much do you want to be worth when you retire? Imagine that you have a magic slate. You can write down anything you want. You can erase anything that may have happened in the past and create whatever picture you desire for your future. You can clean the slate at any time and start over. You have no limits. Look at your family and relationships today and project 5 years into the future. 1, if your family life were perfect 5 years from now, what would it look like? 2, who would you be with? Who would you no longer be with? 3, where and how would you be living? For what kind of living standards would you have? 4, what kind of relationships would you have with the most important people in your life 5 years from now if everything were perfect in every respect? When you fantasize and imagine your perfect future, the only question you ask is how. This is the most powerful question of all. Asking it repeatedly stimulates your creativity and triggers ideas to help you accomplish your goals. Unsuccessful people always wonder whether or not a particular goal is possible. High achievers, on the other hand, only ask the question how. They then set to work to find ways to make their visions and goals into realities. Review your levels of health and fitness in every area. 1, if you were a perfect physical specimen 5 years from now, how would you look, feel, and appear? 2, what would be your ideal weight? 3, how much would you exercise each week? 4, what would be your overall level of health? 5, what changes would you have to start making today in your diet, exercise routines, and health? Habits to enjoy superb physical health sometime in the future. Then imagine that you are an important and influential person, a player in your community. You are making a significant contribution to the world around you. You are making a difference with your life and in the lives of other people. If your social and community status and involvement were ideal? 1. What would you be doing? 2. To what organizations would you be working with or contributing to? 3. What are the causes that you strongly believe in and support, and how could you become more involved in those areas? The primary difference between high achievers and low achievers is action orientation. Men and women who accomplish tremendous things in life are intensely action-oriented. They are moving all the time. They are always busy. If they have an idea, they take action on it immediately. On the other hand, low achievers and non-achievers are full of good intentions, but they always have an excuse for not taking action today. It is well said that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Examine yourself in terms of your personal inventory of skills, knowledge, talent, education, and ability. If you were developed to the highest level possible for you, and there is virtually no limit, answer these questions. 1. What additional knowledge and skills would you have acquired 5 years from now? 2. In what areas would you be recognized as absolutely excellent in what you do? 3. What would you be doing each day in order to develop the knowledge and skills you need to be one of the top performers in your field sometime in the future? Once you have answered these questions, the only question you ask is how do you attain the skills and expertise you will require to lead your field in the years ahead? Especially decide how you would like to live day in and day out, your ideal lifestyle. Design your perfect calendar from January 1st to December 31st. 1. What would you like to do on your weekends and vacations? 2. How much time would you like to take off each week, month, and year? 3. Where would you like to go? 4. How would you organize your year if you had no limitations and complete control over your time? In the Bible, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. What this means is that if you lack an exciting vision for your future, you will perish inside in terms of lacking motivation and enthusiasm for what you are doing. But the reverse of this is that with an exciting future vision, you will be continuously motivated and stimulated every day to take the actions necessary to make your ideal vision a reality. You remember that happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. When you have clear, exciting goals and ideals, you will feel happier about yourself and your world. You will be more positive and optimistic. You will be more cheerful and enthusiastic. You will feel internally motivated to get up and get going every morning because every step you are taking will be moving you in the direction of something that is important to you. Resolve to think about your ideal future most of the time. Remember, the very best days of your life lie ahead. The happiest moments you will ever experience are still to come. The highest income you will ever earn is going to materialize in the months and years ahead. The future is going to be better than anything that may have happened in your past. There are no limits. The clearer you can be about your long-term future, the more rapidly you will attract people and circumstances into your life to help make that future a reality. The greater clarity you have about who you are and what you want, the more you will achieve and the faster you will achieve it in every area of your life.